I get a lot of questions about my data sheets and also my summary sheets that I use on my website. And there I'm using Google Tools, Google Apps to be able to do that. It's easy to use, and of course it's free. And what educator doesn't like that? So the first thing you need to do is you have to have a Gmail account. So make sure if you don't have one, get one. And then second of all, you'll need to also get a Google Drive account. Once you get those two things going, then you have this black box here at the top of the screen that gives you a terrific assortment of Google tools that you can use, and it's all for free. And they're extremely easy to use. Lots of videos on how to on YouTube. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I've opened up my Gmail account, as you can see here, and I'm going to go right to Drive. So the program that I use to make all those summary sheets and the data sheets or surveys is I use a thing called Google Forms. Google Forms is in the Google Drive package, and if you see this red box over here, it says Create, so I'm going to click on that, and then you'll notice all the tools under Create is listed, and I'm going to use Forms. So I'm going to click on that, and when that happens, then it comes up with some themes. I'm going to create a theme or a title for it. So it's Indo and Exo. I want to create a data sheet for my classes, and in particular, this is an exothermic and endothermic reaction, and we're going to do that usually the first week of school. So I wanted to show you how to do that. I'm just going to use the default theme here. You have all different kinds you can choose from very colorful, from very ornate, to sometimes basic. So I'm going to use the basic one. So this is called Endo and Exothermic, and I just abbreviated it. And as you can see up here, here's the title, and then what you're going to see here is a little box that kind of explains it. You can call it data form. Or you can put some additional questions or instructions. That's all right. And the first thing I like to do is I like to create the header quickly. You know, first name, last name, and possibly the class or the period number. So what I'm going to put here is first name. And what I like to do, instead of having it, if you'll notice right here, it says question type. It's not a multiple choice. You get all these other things to choose from. I just want to text. I want them to type it out. Then over here, this is if I want to edit. This is if I want to duplicate it, if I want to get rid of it. I'll get back to that in a second. But I want it to be a required question so that they'll actually answer it. They can't go any further. They can't submit it until it's been printed out. Now, headers are one of those things I want to do quickly. So what I do is I just hit duplicate. And here's it duplicated the very same thing, but I'm going to change that to last name. Last name. And this next one right here, I'm going to duplicate it just because I need to. This one is going to be called period number, just period. And now I'm going to change that from, and you can keep it a text box if you want, but I want a radio box so they just select it. So I'm going to go to multiple choice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, there's period 1, there's period 2, and I'm just going to stop at 3 so you get the idea. The problem with that is it doesn't lengthen out your form. So you could keep it as a text box to kind of compact it up a little bit. So I'm going to duplicate it again, and this one right here is my first question. Let me just back up for just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cup, fill it with a little bit of orange juice, put this Alka-Seltzer tablet in it, and then before I actually put the tablet in it, I'm going to take the initial temperature with this temperature probe, and then at the end, after it's all bubbled off, then I'm going to take, you know, the end result or the final temperature, so I can compare the two and see what kind of reaction was endo or exo. So anyway, what I got here is a question, and I'm going to say initial temperature. And of course this is going to be a text box, and I'm going to copy it again, and I'm going to say final temp, and text box again, and then I have a question is what was the difference? What was the temperature difference? And then a help text was the temperature elevated reduced. And then lastly, what type of reaction was it and why? And then I'm going to say endo-exo. Endothermic or exothermic. So anyway, and then what I've done is I've required all of them to have the questions. I hit done here, and here's the done. I didn't. So there it is. That's what a form basically is. You can make it up that fast. Now, if I want to see what it looks like live, I just click Live Form. And that's what it's going to look like. Pretty basic, pretty standard. But the great thing about this, if you look at the very top, it has its own URL. So I could actually post it through a link on my website so they could see it. It goes directly to here. Or what I can do is if I go back one. If I go back to here, I want to see what this is what the students see. I want to see what the teacher sees. So I'm going to click on that. And when they fill it out, what happens is, and you'll see this in a second, what happens is all of these boxes are going to be filled in by the students. They submit it back to me, and then I have a spreadsheet. And then through the spreadsheet, I can do a variety of different things. I can average the data. I can comment on what they did. Like, for instance, I can click over here and say grades or comments, and then I can do all this. And if you ask them for their email, then you can also capture the emails, send them back their responses. It's a pretty useful tool for you. And there's a variety of different things. You can use it as tests, and then you can have Fubaru grade it. And I've had like 120 student tests. And then they all took the test after it was all completed for the final. 2 minutes to grade. 2 minutes. And that worked a lot better than previous. But the other thing is, if you want to embed it in a website, you can use an embed tool. Go to Form, and then you go to Embed in Web Page, and it gives you a code that you can copy and then paste in an HTML if you so desire. Otherwise, what you can do is just post this and have them just give them the link. Like, for instance, you email them out the link, or you put it on the board, whatever it is. They go to this, they fill it out, it comes back to you, and you can see it. Well, that is Google Form in a nutshell. I know I kind of condensed it down really, really fast, but I think if you start using it, you'll find all different kinds of uses for it. So thank you very much. I hope this has helped. See you soon. Thanks.